Hey guys, Jen with Astrology. We are talking today about electional astrology for going on vacation. So sometimes you can't pick the best times, but we're going to see how it's going to be with the times that we're almost kind of forced with when it comes to flights and things like that. So my husband and I, are going to Yellowstone for our honeymoon. So I'm going to take y'all with us through our trip to see how running an election at the start of the trip, and we'll see how the trip should kind of go in general. It will give it a general kind of feel for what to expect. So, and then I'll explain with our own charts how the transits, these planets, will then affect us according to our charts. So, today we are focusing on the first two parts, the electional and the transits to our natal charts. And we'll run the chart for when we are planning to leave home. So you want to see, and we are planning about to get picked up about 5 o'clock and head to the airport. So that's when the trip is going to really begin, and that's when you close the door, lock it, and get ready to leave. And that's the final time that you're kind of at home. So it's when the trip begins. So again, sometimes you don't have a lot of choices. So sometimes you just have to tweak things a little bit to see what works. Maybe you leave a little bit early than you wanted to. Maybe you leave a little bit later than you wanted to, just to kind of get the election as good as possible. So with the flights that we chose, I wanted to make sure I had a nice ascendant, or past the 3-degree mark, because 3 degrees is a little bit too early. So I kind of pushed the pickup time to be a little bit later. You also want to check to see that your ascendant ruler, so now I know this is upside down, but our ascendant here is Virgo. You want to make sure the ascendant ruler is nicely aspected as well. And also you want to always check the moon to make sure the moon is well placed. So I decided at 5 a.m. because it really looked like, putting that practical Virgo on my ascendant, or on the trip's ascendant, would just kind of me hoping that I would get everything packed, everything organized, have everything kind of lined up, and just, okay, check this off. We got, licenses, tickets, check, and everything that we need to have packed. So we want to check where Mercury is, because Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. So the ruler Mercury is in its dignity in its home sign of Virgo. So Mercury's right there. So that's already very positive. So the one unfortunate thing is that Mercury will be squaring Jupiter. So we see here it's 3 signs away, and that is a square, 90 degrees. But the squares don't necessarily mean something bad, but it could just kind of be something jarring. And it is in the aspect with Jupiter, which is a benefic. So hopefully that won't cause too many big kind of things going wrong, maybe blowouts. Hopefully we won't, have any traffic issues. Mercury does have to do with some form of travel, so maybe getting to the airport, hopefully there won't be a lot of traffic at 5 a.m. in the morning. But so we'll just have to see how it plays out. So it just kind of gives you things to kind of plan on. Okay, so if there might be some traffic issues because of that, maybe we want to leave a little bit early. Maybe if there's issues at the counter, when we go to check in with our luggage, maybe there's issues there. So you kind of want to, keep that in mind, and then you can kind of prepare for it pretty much. So, also indecisiveness, maybe wanting to go also in 100 directions at once, because Jupiter is expanding things. So maybe we'll be like having a whole bunch of ideas that we want to do on the way, stop here at Dunkin' Donuts, get coffees, whatever. But we need to keep everything in check and just kind of be practical, because that is that practical Virgo. So I will check and double check everything we have, see it's in order, which is very Mercury in Virgo anyway. So the moon is what we also want to look at. So our moon is in a great placement. that's not in the right spot. It's actually going to be up in the 9th house. So I don't know why I have it down here. So it's going to be up in the 9th house, and that will be, ouch. So in the 9th house, and that is of long trips. So long distance travel has no bad aspects whatsoever. And it is actually in a trine to the ascendant. And the ascendant is sextile to both malefics. So it's in a positive aspect to both the malefics. It's in a positive sextile to, you can just put this up here. So the moon's up there in a good placement up in, whoop. Okay, she doesn't want to stick. That's okay. So we have the ascendant in a nice sextile to one malefic, which is Mars, and the other malefic, which is Saturn. So that is, a good sign. It's in a trine to Saturn. I'm sorry. It's in a sextile to Mars and then in a trine to Saturn. So as well as it's sextile to the moon also. So now we have, with that Saturn, we've worked for this vacation. It's our honeymoon. So it's extra special. Since we didn't have an original honeymoon, we got married in the year 2000 and during COVID, and COVID was really going on and everything was really kind of shut down. Hotels, everything was hard to get. So Saturn, it's not as nice. It is in the 7th house. With a wide orb aspect with the ascendant ruler Mercury in opposition. So that was in a sextile too. I said with the ascendant, but it was actually in a sextile to the moon. But it is in a 5-degree orb square with Saturn, Jupiter. So yes, we have that T-square that's been kind of just hovering there, just affecting our chart. Now, we would have had to change it by days to make that. So you kind of want to have all good aspects apart from that. So if you know that that T-square is going to be in there kind of affecting you, you want to have the moon in a good aspect to it. You want to have Mercury in a good aspect, or whatever your ascendant ruler is in a good aspect, so it won't really affect you too bad if you don't have a choice, because sometimes you just don't have that choice. So that T-square could be, airline mishaps, which could lead to delays, perhaps. Hopefully that isn't the case, but we'll see how it plays out. Again, we are aware of this. So we know that things can happen. So we have this in the back of our mind. So now we look at the transits with my chart. So just to explain, so I'm not going to bring up the whole chart. So the first thing I notice when I'm looking at my own chart is that the Sun and Mercury are transiting my 9th house. So my 9th house is obviously Virgo. So they're transiting my 9th house, which is the house of long distance travel. Again, so that is, showing in the electional chart and in my own personal chart how the 9th house has some good aspects in it. Both. We have the moon in it with this electional chart, and then we have the good aspects in it or the transits in it within my own chart. So the Jupiter transit is conjunct my Saturn, and it's almost exact. So it's only 15 minutes, not 15 degrees, 15 minutes difference. So this can be extremely positive. So I can use perhaps the things that I've learned. So there's this Jupiter and Saturn working in conjunction with each other. They're working together for something positive. And this is going on in my 6th house. So it's about your everyday works, routines, and things like that. So I can use this for something positive that could affect my everyday life and my everyday routines. Hopefully even through this channel, maybe I can, teach the things that I learn, and it could, to all of you, bring these things on everyday routines and things like that to help teach with that, things that I've learned. So that is that Jupiter is that teacher, Saturn is the things that you learn and grow and mature with, and just that old, kind of older person knowledge that you get after just a lifetime of experiences. So it also can mean good fortune, and this could be this good fortune as I reach a new and higher phase in my life. So the sun is conjunct my Mars. So again, that is in the 9th house. I have Mars in Virgo. So we'll have to be careful though to not act impulsively, or something bad could happen, because that Mars, can cause some accidents. And hopefully I won't be doing anything stupid like running up and getting selfies next to a bison or a grizzly bear. I wouldn't put it past me to do something like that, but I know I could possibly get hurt on this trip if I don't think before I act. So Pluto is trining. So we have Pluto here at the end of Capricorn, and that is trining my natal Pluto and my Mars. So my Pluto and Mars are really close. There's just in different signs. So this could be a positively transformational time. So something that I might do and act, something that I do, something that might happen can affect me and transform me for the positive. This is a trine. So thought that was pretty interesting. The South Node will be also conjunct my Sun and my Mercury. So I may get that kind of deja vu, been here before type feeling. I may feel just that kind of comfort almost. Whoa, it's windy. So that comfortability that I feel like when I'm here at home, because I'm actually on my line at home is my nodal axis. So that's why, I do have trouble leaving home. I love it here in New England, and it is, that's where I even have our vacation house that's up in Maine. And so it's right along my line where all the people I love, all the places that I feel comfortable. Well, I might get that same kind of feeling here because it is, I do have my South Node there conjuncting my Sun and my Mercury. So I may feel that the Mars transit is square to my natal Mercury. So I need again to act before I speak, maybe, not set off, fights or something like that, because I gotta control that Mars, and that is in a square with my natal Mercury. So watch out for getting set off, flying off the handle. This could have to do with that Mercury that is not doing too well, and maybe there could be some flight issues or something like that. So hopefully at the airport I won't get myself kicked off because I'm all losing it because some delays or who knows what. So I normally wouldn't do anything like that. I'm scared of flying, so I'll probably just sit there like in fear, but just something to keep aware of. Anyway, so just it's that acting out that could happen, and doing something that might not be safe or smart. So my moon though is nicely trying to the transiting Sun, and transit moon is in opposition to my MC. Ooh. So I have a couple nice transit there as well, bringing in my MC, and I do plan to take you guys here. So maybe, that reputation. So maybe, it'll gain followers, it'll gain, your guys' trust in me, and, who hopefully grow the channel. So my ascendant ruler, Saturn, in my own personal chart, is conjunct Jupiter, as I said earlier. So Mercury does also square my Saturn by 16 minutes, because don't forget that T-square is still out there. I have to stay positive. I have to be careful of negativity. Saturn does have a way of making you fearful, negative sometimes. Maybe being fearful might actually be a good thing, and that's maybe where that conjunction comes in, because that fearfulness might make me not, go out and take a selfie with a grizzly bear or something like that. So it all just kind of works together. So I do have to be careful of negativity though, maybe feeling a little sad. and a lot of mental work. So like really working on things, okay, what am I going to take from this experience and bring back with me to my normal everyday life, because that is all falling in my 6th house of everyday work and routine. So what am I going to learn from this experience, and what am I going to bring back from me? What could this transformational perhaps trip that I'm going to be on, because it's aspecting my Saturn, or it's not aspecting my Saturn, it's aspecting my Pluto and that Mars. So something could make me just kind of change a little bit, have different thoughts on things, and just kind of change me, forever, who knows. But I also need to be especially attentive to these details because of that Mercury square. So again, things that I don't want to forget, and which is another reason, because I did see these things in my chart. So I knew I wanted to really have Mercury be well aspected in our election chart. So, might offset all that a little bit. So I have to also be cognizant of all the necessary paperwork that I have to have, be careful to avoid impulsivity, and knowing what I need to be aware of can really help just make this a positive experience for both of us. My husband's chart, we don't have the exact time, so I won't be using the exact angles, but I will still be throwing the houses in there. We don't have his exact birth time. So the transiting Mars is really the only thing that I'm seeing in his chart that could be a potential negative, as it squares his natal Uranus and is conjunct his IC. And the natal Uranus is in his 7th house. And his navel IC, if it's close. So not quite sure. I don't really like the any negativity with Mars squaring anything in the IC and Uranus in there and the 7th house. So again, that could point to something happening to maybe his spouse, 7th house. Hopefully not, because I think that would probably kind of ruin the vacation a little bit, especially since it's kind of our honeymoon. So being his wife, seeing that Mars, Sun conjunct in my chart, I hope I don't get killed, but you never know. See how it all plays out. Everything else in his chart though looks good. Mars is his ascendant ruler naturally, but transiting Mars is trining his natal Mars, so that's nice. So action, doing things, maybe doing things, having fun. The Sun is conjunct his natal Pluto, which is in a grand trine with transiting Pluto. He naturally has a grand trine in his chart, all in earth signs. So he's very down to earth. He's very creative. He's very grounded, responsible. But this transiting, with the transiting Pluto, the natal Mercury makes this beautiful grand trine, and it's actually topped off with his natal Neptune, which is making it actually a grand kite. So I think all of this positivity will overcome the natal aspect he has in there. So I think ultimately, you see the grand kite in your chart, and that is just, maybe imagination sailing away, and just like that good feeling, with especially the top of it being with Neptune, just really kind of bring you to another dimension, spiritually and mentally, and hopefully that will be a transformational thing for him as well, with having the transiting Pluto in there, and with that being involved and transiting Uranus. So maybe he'll have something that is going to make him just be that just awe-inspiring, something very inspiring to him. So this transiting moon is sextile to his north node. So I'm hoping we're in for some really profound, life-changing adventures. We're going to be checking out our astrocartography lines in the next video and seeing how it matches up, and that is going to be when we are in Yellowstone. So y'all want to stay tuned for that. There's going to be some really cool scenery. We're going to really try and take a lot of little quickies and post little quickie videos, or shorts, I guess they're called. So stay tuned, hit that notification bell, guys, and be sure to subscribe. Let me hear your comments. Let me see what you think that you're seeing, because of course, as an astrologer, though, I can be a little bit biased and hopeful. So let me see what y'all see and see what you guys think of how vacation might go. So I'll see y'all soon when we're in Yellowstone. Bye.